pollutants and environmental toxins on top of the pesticides and herbicides and all these other things and microplastics. There's a lot of factors that are leading our systems to not work well.
The cellular industry strategically positioned itself to be influential in the kind of research the government would be carrying out on its products.
Wireless industry agreed to put up money from the cell phone industry, and an interagency working group of the United States government was put in place to oversee the work. That project was called the WTR, or Wireless Technology Research, and that's the program that I ran, looking into the health effects of wireless technology.
This program was put in place under what we would call a regulatory paradigm.
Ordinarily, in a regulatory context, new technologies would be tested extensively before they reached the marketplace, in order to make sure that they didn't present any dangers to consumers. In the case of cell phones, and the wireless industry as a whole, this crucial stage was bypassed. This meant the regulatory agencies were forced to rely on post-market surveillance.
There was an argument going on between the EPA and the FDA, and the FCC was in the middle of it, about the safety standards that should be put in place for analog phones. And that standard was the specific absorption rate.
SAR, or specific absorption rate, is a measure of the rate to which energy is absorbed by the body when exposed to cell phone radiation. The smaller the body, the greater the exposed area.
But the standard was based on microwave oven studies from the 70s and 80s. Was really not relevant to anything other than heating effects.
When they did some safety testing, the device that's had the most testing is probably the mobile phone. It's one of the first devices that emits this kind of radiation. And they built a model that they called SAM, standing for Standard Anthropomorphic Mannequin. But bizarrely, what they did was SAM was based on the 90th centile of military recruits. So he wasn't representative of a child or even a woman, or actually an average man. This guy, just his head weighed 5 kilograms, which is more than some children's entire body.
I think the thing that surprised me most and really kind of caught my attention the most, which I hadn't realized, is that the manufacturers actually tell people in the instruction manual, which I'd never read, not to put the cell phone against your ear.
The advice
in the phone tells you to keep it off the body because phones are tested in two positions. They are tested next to the head and next to the body. When they're tested next to the head, they're tested with a spacer. It used to be 10 millimeters away from the head. Now I think it's 6, but the point is there's a space between the phone and the head. The industry has succeeded in getting the FCC to accept an approach where the phone is not used like this. And you know that this is exactly how most people use phones.